Greg Abbott is trying to use the cover of the deadliest flood in Texas history to steal congressional seats for Donald Trump. Yesterday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott called a special session of the Texas legislature, which basically allows them to reconvene to address certain issues that they didn't address during the regular session. Now, the original purpose of this special session was to address legislation related to cannabis use in the state of Texas, but a bunch of issues get added every time, and in the wake of the storm, they added legislation to address the recovery as well as an early warning system for future floods and disasters. But included in the list of legislative issues that Greg Abbott wants the legislature to address is legislation related to a revised congressional redistricting plan in light of constitutional concerns raised by the U.S. Department of Justice. For those of you who aren't giant poli-sci nerds, what this basically means is Greg Abbott is asking the legislature to redraw the maps that determine where members of Congress serve and who they serve based on these random allegations made by the Department of Justice, which is now run by Donald Trump. Basically, Trump and his Republican allies in D.C. know that they're headed for a wipeout in the 2026 midterm elections and are likely to lose the U.S. House. So they're asking Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, and Texas Republicans to gerrymander the maps to make 4 districts more competitive for Republicans. And the 4 congressional districts that Trump's DOJ is asking Texas to redraw, they just all happen to be held by Black and Latino Democratic members of Congress. Oh, and on the very same day that Greg Abbott asked the Texas legislature to redraw the congressional maps to favor Trump and Republicans, Trump just happened to endorse nearly every Republican member of the Texas legislature. In other words, with 120 Texans dead, 170 plus still missing, and the entire Texas Hill Country still picking up the pieces, Greg Abbott is directing the legislature to redraw the congressional maps to pad the GOP House majority. Why? Because Donald Trump is asking him to. I'm not sure whether to be more pissed about their open neglect for the hundreds of families still reeling from this disaster, or their brazen, corrupt attempt to use it as cover to steal congressional seats and pad the House Republican majority. It's callous, it's cynical, it's pathetic, but it's what we've come to expect from people like Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton.